Buenas. Today is day 7, and we're talking about helping a business called Dog Pound with today's going to be their messaging. And I'll give you a recap on what we did the first couple of days. So we are doing 100 videos to show people behind the scenes of a small business owner how to get better with running their business systems, but more so finding out what's the thing that's actually stopping people. And once we find that bottleneck, we find it, we fix it, and then we start measuring it so that we can get people results. So we are talking about Dog Pound. Dog Pound is a fitness business ran by a remarkable owner, and they are looking to grow their online portion. So they do online training as well. What we've seen to be bottlenecks, and we'll take the paper out in a little bit, what we've seen to be bottlenecks is no one knows that the training exists. It's not in her message. She's not saying anything about it, and those are the two main bottlenecks. I'll recap once I take my handy notebook out, just giving you guys a preview or overview. So we talked about visibility on day 6, and I'll link the video in the bio, in the comments, show notes. We talked about visibility, and a couple things that we said about being visible is making it really clear in the bio that you do online training. Number 2, we said to have short form content so that people know exactly that you do this. And number 3, we talked about collaborating with another business, such as a massage therapist, a chiropractor, a food company, things that could complement what she does to make it a lot easier for her clients to know she's the person that she should choose. And 4, we said to become a local expert. I've always believed that if your town doesn't know what you do, get known in the town first, because they're going to be a lot of your cheerleaders. Sometimes they can be great for referrals, and they have proximity to you, so they're going to help. They're going to probably be the first people you should be thinking about. Sometimes when we have the social media overload, we think that everyone who's going to be a client is far away, and that's not necessarily true. So I would say be your local hero. So those are some of the things that we named. I'll link the video to that so that you guys can see what we said, and you can take some things from that. Now, we're going to be implementing those changes this week with her business. We got 30 days. We're going to be implementing those changes this week with her. But today we're going to be talking about messaging. So a good way to think about messaging is who, what, and why. Who, what, and why. Who is this for? What problem is it solving? Why they should choose me. So we're going to write that down. Let's actually just write that down now. Pardon me as I get my handy notebook and things like that. Who, what, and how. This is important because if you're not talking to a person, they can't listen. And if you're not specifying who that person is, they can't listen. If they can't listen, then they can't buy. And we want people to buy her product for various reasons. So who, what, and why. I'm gonna pull out my phone too. I got some notes. But let's write this down for Dog Pound. You guys can get an overview of what it looks like behind the scenes. So let's go who, what, why. All right, so we got a blank piece of paper. We're gonna say who, what, and why. Dog Pound is the business. Let me see if I can prop this camera up for you guys so we can do this. All right, so who, what, why. This is the time I wish I had like a videographer with me doing all this stuff. That would be so cool. Anybody want to come be a videographer, let me know. All right, so who, we narrowed it down to be her serving primarily moms. Why? Jen is a mom of 3. She's a wife. She's had 2 believe 2 C-sections, she's over 40. But this is a market that she knows very, very well. It doesn't mean she can't serve everybody else. Her current messaging says that we serve all ages and all levels. Now, once we go there, and we're fighting a lot of competition. Right? You're fighting people who have millions of dollars to market, and it doesn't mean she can't train people of all ages and all ages and all levels. We just don't want to lead with that. So we're gonna say moms 35 plus. That would be the first part of who, mom 35 plus, and to add a little bit of that, who want to stop starting over every Monday. All right, you'll see the handwriting after. Moms 35 plus who want to stop starting over every Monday. She could go more narrow if she wanted to. That's gonna be up to her. Right now, we're just trying to make her get out of the I serve everybody, all levels. Moms 35 plus who want to stop starting over every Monday. I would put with their fitness, or she can say or health, either or, training, whatever feels best for her with that. Right? We are not strong arming her. Now, the what is the problem that's being, my handwriting is horrible right now. What is the problem that's being solved? Now, here's what we want to try to aim towards: things that we can measure first, and then some of those other things. So, what is the problem? I would say the first thing, who are aiming to get 20 pounds off without feeling guilty and full of shame. I can't tell you 5 women who wouldn't say they want to lose weight. Most women want to lose weight, even if they're super small. This is not what this episode is about. So that can be one problem. What they're aiming to get 10 to 20 pounds off without feeling guilty and full of shame. They want to fit in some older clothes they have behind the closet. Okay, I'm gonna let you guys see this writing after, but this writing is horrible. This writing is horrible. Okay, so, and then I would say what? They're tired of always feeling overwhelmed with this part of life. So, the who is moms 35 plus who want to stop starting over every Monday with their fitness or health training. The what is, this is the problem that she solves, the problem that they have. They want to get 10 to 20 pounds off without feeling guilty and full of shame. They want to fit in some old clothes that they've thrown behind the closet door, or they've stuffed down in the closet, but they're tired of feeling overwhelmed with this part of life. I would say another one is they want to know if if they can feel good in their body again. Okay. The why is, why should they choose her? Not because she's just a trainer, right? There's tons of trainers. There are tons of personal trainers who have degrees that you can't even. There's so much you can't even count. They have certifications that they can't even count. But why would they choose her? Number one, she's been down this bumpy road numerous times. She's overcome a vicious eating. I may not let you guys see this because this handwriting is bad. She's overcome a vicious eating disorder. She's helped tons of women in this area. Her approach to training is gentle yet firm. No shaming, no beating you up, helping moms get what they deserve. Now, something that I mentioned to Jen that she should start just talking a lot about in her content is you deserve this. You deserve this. This is really, really true. That's something that I will tell you guys a story about Jen for those who are new, who are watching this video and haven't seen the other ones. Jen has had an eating disorder when she was young. She's ridiculed a lot about the eating disorder, and we know that carries on for years. Middle school, high school, college, sometimes after. And she's faced so much criticism and this eating disorder that it messed with her confidence a lot. It messed with how she saw herself. So now she knows when she's overcome, when she's gotten to the other side of it, she knows that other women are dealing with the same type of battle. And she doesn't want them to be overcome anymore by it. So what we had figured out when we saw Jen's page and things like that, we'll pull it up, is she talks about that a little bit. And I pressed on her. I said, hey, what's the reason why you don't talk about that? That's the actually thing that separates you. And that's the actually thing that gives your message a lot more power than just, I have a scientific approach. I would also put that too. She knows scientifically and emotionally how to get you to this, how to get you to this goal. Major. So let's look at some of the things that I wrote down on my phone that's going to help Jen with her messaging. Let's bring it up. Handy dandy. Okay, so some of the things I said for her messaging is, what is she currently saying? All right, we want to look at that real quick. So I'm going to bring you back in here. Bring you back in here so that you can see what is she saying in her bio. What do we need to change? Because if we don't change this, then she's going to be blending in with everyone else. So let's bring up Jen's page. Also, while we're at it, I just want to give a shout out to DJI. They have this Osmo, I think it's called Osmo Action 6. I love this camera. I love it. I'm not sponsored by DJI, but if you want to sponsor your boy, come on and get with it. I'm not against it at all. I love this camera. It's small. I can carry it everywhere I go. So let's look at Jen's bio right now. So, fitness coach, build strength, build confidence, breaking limited beliefs and fear of failure, strong for life, inside and out, all ages, all levels. It's not bad. It's not bad. It's just not measurable. And if it's not measurable, sometimes it can be a little harder for someone to say, hey, I need that. So let's rewrite the bio. Now, let's actually do this. Let's actually bring this to a different room. Let's write the bio on the computer so you guys can actually see me, what I'm going to be giving to Jen, and then helping her implement as we go on the journey. So we see the bio. Why should this be measurable, Drew? Because people have a hard time just saying, I'm going to buy this product, I'm going to give my money up because I think this could be an idea, versus this is something that I need. This is something that I have to have. I heard this before, I forgot who it came from, but it was powerful. And they said, I think it was Alex Hermosi who said, you want to sell something where people, it's a problem they have to get solved, not something that they can put off or they want to get solved. And if you don't do that, then you're going to be in a place where you're just blending in. We don't want that for her. So we're going to write down what we can about getting this bio clear. Bio should be reading something along the lines of what we just went over. What she does, who she does it for, what problem does she solve for them, and why they should choose her. So we're gonna get that popping as soon as I can get my stuff ready. Let's put this camera back on here. Hello. And let's get this computer out. See what we come up with. By the way, if this is something that you feel like, hey, I would love my business to have 30 days of somebody going in and out of it and letting me know what I can implement to make more money, save money, and systemize it so that it's not all over the place. I'll put a link in the show notes. You guys can sign up for that too. So let's pull up the dog pound and let's do this bio. Okay, so we have changed bio. All right, let's start writing. So we want to start with who is this for? I'm gonna say moms, 35 plus. I was 35 plus. I would almost say 40 plus, but that part is up to her. 35 plus, and I would say, who used to train consistently but have fallen off and want to get strong again without living in the gym. The reason why I'm gonna say this in her messaging when she's inside of the actual content, she can mention the shame, the guilt, stuff like that more, is because this is online. She doesn't want them training for a long time. Her approach is gonna be short, sweet, get it in, get it out. And she has women who are contacting her who used to train, who used to be athletes. So let's see that real quick. We got moms, 35 plus, who used to train consistently but have fallen off and want to get strong again without living in the gym. So we have our who moms, what's the problem? They used to train, they fell off, and they want to get strong again. Why? I'm gonna put, I've been there before, and that's why we've created this online guilt and shame-free training just for you. Now, she may have to play around with the words when it comes to putting this on IG and things like that, but mainly we want to make sure we nail who this is for, what problem is it solving, and why should they pick her. She can be cute and say been there, done that, something like that, but that sounds a little bit different than hers right now, which is Jen's right now says fitness coach, build strength, build confidence, breaking limiting beliefs and fear of failure, strong for life, inside and out, all ages, all levels. That's a broad place. So let's go to the second thing that I wrote down for Jen with the messaging. We got in here her bio. She can also tailor the website towards that as well. We're not going to go into that, but her online offer, right? Her online offer is this private group that she has. The private group is put this back on. The private group is where it's really at. So that's part of the offer. Now, with that being said, the private group is what's going to keep the women in there. Believe strongly this. It's going to keep the women in there. Why do I say that? Because eventually anyone can get a program from like ChatGPT or AI or something like that. Anybody can do that. The private community is what those women really need, because they're going to have days where they need to vent, days they may skip the workout, days where they need to be encouraged. And what better group to do that with than moms who are like you? Also, I mentioned to Jen in that group, you should have like Wednesdays is let it out. I don't swear, but Jen does, so she can say like, let that MFer out. Say what you want to say today. Those kids are getting on my nerves. A day like this starts to connect them emotionally, connect them with the fitness part, and it brings something that most trainers are not thinking about doing. Most trainers are just saying like, you know what, get in, get out, and that's it. But I'm like, hey, if you bring something different to the marketplace, this is what makes you different. This is what separates you. And this is what we want for her, because she's a great trainer. She's just blending in with everyone because she's saying what the market is saying, but not what the people who she's called to help actually needs. So let's go into that. Okay, we mentioned why does it blend? We just went over that. Her message before is blending because it sounds like every fitness coach. It sounds like I do the same thing everybody else does. I'm just a woman. But you're competing now against tons of women. You're competing now against tons of men. And now you're competing against tons of robots. Here's the one that we really want to be thinking about strongly. So this is her bio. We got that. This part of the messaging is, who are we trying to make feel seen? Major. Why, Drusiphus? If I don't make my ideal client feel seen, they're gonna just overlook me, my content, and they're gonna just look for somebody else. People will eventually look for their problems to be solved. So it's not so much as how polished or how clever the content can be, the message can be, but how can I make this person feel seen? She can make someone feel seen by the things that she's actually went through. I've overcome an eating disorder. I know what it feels like to be called fat. I know what it feels like to be overwhelmed as a mom. I know what it feels like to start over every Monday. I know what it feels like to have a great body to other people, but in your head, you still feel like this fat person. The content that would make her feel seen, and the messaging that would make her feel seen, is her sharing her story, not in a way where she just tells everything that she's been through, but inviting them into a story. Do you feel every Monday I'm starting all over again? And every week is getting harder and harder. And I got kids who I have to support. I got a husband who I have to support. And I just feel like I don't have anything for myself that makes me feel good about me. I hate how I feel. I hate how I look. I'm hating a lot of things about me, and I want to stop that. This makes a woman who's dealing with that type of stuff feel seen. I give you an example. The people who signed up to do this 30-day program with me, they had to have felt seen or they wouldn't have done it. So I started just messaging literally small business owners in a way where I could talk to the conversation in their head. You have a great product, but no one knows about it. You can't get consistent with doing content, so you can't even market it, and you have this sleazy feeling when it comes to sales. What if we took your business for 30 days and we found out the things that's actually stopping it, showed you a way to fix it, and how to measure it so that you can keep getting results? Would you want to be a part of that? And now it became an easier yes. Now, I tell you the truth. When I was first putting things out there, I was just putting things about only content. Like, you should make content. You should make content this way. You should make content that way. Content is important. But they were already thinking, this is not something that's going to solve an issue in my business. But when I started talking about these things are stopping you from making money, these things are stealing money from you, there's where the money leaks are at. They're in some type of a system in your business. That's when it started to make sense, and that's when they felt seen. So we want her content to make her people feel seen. If they don't feel seen, they won't buy. So for that, we're gonna put that she's going to invite them into a story. She's not necessarily saying everything about herself. She's inviting them into a story. I put down also talk about what keeps them stuck. What keeps them stuck isn't necessarily what they may feel it is. What keeps them stuck is usually they have a mindset around training that it needs to be long, it needs to be grueling, and that you need to do it every day. So that when they start Monday and they miss Monday, they think, well, I'm not gonna be able to do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, so I may as well wait till another Monday again. That's a big part that keeps them stuck. What keeps them stuck is their mindset around training. They feel it needs to be every day, long and hard, right? So we started having Jim make videos about that. I also put down, what are they embarrassed and tired about? They're embarrassed about their body, but they're more so embarrassed about how they've let themselves slip. They are embarrassed about how they may look in front of their husband, how they look naked, that they just can't get this part together. Like, these are women who are usually like CEOs, they are in high positions in their jobs, but this part they can't get together. Let's go over the next part and then we'll wrap up. What are they afraid of? This is one that is good. What are they afraid will happen if nothing changes? If they do nothing, what's going to happen? They're going to end up the same person. They're going to be probably weighing a lot more. They're probably going to be resenting people around them, might even resent the husband and stuff like that. So there's tons more that we're going to go through tomorrow. You know what I'll end up doing? I'll do a part 2 of messaging. We'll put a note for that. We'll do part 2 of messaging because we didn't finish that. Day 8. Part 2 of messaging. We'll do that so that we don't feel rushed. But all in all, we believe strongly in 30 days we're going to help her get some more clients. Most of all, create a system for her where she literally can start succeeding, not be stressed out and overwhelmed with all of the puzzle pieces. Once we started talking to her, we realized a customer can't even get to her because it's not clear, it's not systemized. And that puts more stress on her plate. That makes her have to go and contact them, and she has to fulfill the order. It's a lot that we can systemize so that her business can run better. If you feel like it's something that is resonating with you and you're like, I need this myself, let's talk. I'll put a link in the show notes. Just talk and let's help your business out. Be good, guys. Be great.